thanks for coming back to this channel to look at a new video that I've put together for you this morning. And if it's your first time watching, then welcome. Hope you find the content interesting, and don't forget to remember to like and subscribe to keep updated with all of the information that we share with you on this particular channel. Now today I'm going to be looking at a topic that seems to be cropping up quite a lot for people at the moment, and to some extent is causing a little bit of confusion. So we're going to really look at two different types of relationships, being your soulmate relationship and your twin flame. We're going to look at what these relationships look like, what they feel like, what they can bring into your existence, and really how to tell the difference between the two. And if you're someone that's still searching for your twin flame or your soulmate, well, we might just have a few hints and tips to get you on the right path to making next year your optimum time for finding that missing person in your life. So, as I said, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you look in the description somewhere just beneath this video, you'll find a link that if you press on will actually take you to a site where you can download some free gifts that I have prepared for you. They're nice little things that are going to help you on any kind of path or spiritual journey that you may find yourself on, whether you're a complete novice or beginner or somebody who is a little bit further along the path. So make sure you subscribe to grab those goodies and settle back for the remainder of this video. So I think that the first thing we need to do in this particular recording is to really kind of understand the definition of a twin flame and a soulmate, because there are some people that think it is two phrases to describe the same thing. And that there's a lot of sort of mixed messages and confusion, whether that be verses in songs or in poems, storybooks, what have you. So I want to start initially by kind of breaking that down a little bit for you. And then, as I said, we will start to look at the different relationships and the things that they can bring into your lives and how you can actually identify what kind of category a certain person is fulfilling or fitting into within your life. Now, neither of them are bad. They've both got pros and cons, as with so many things in life. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty details of this video so we can hopefully start to answer some questions for you. Now, let me ask you, have you ever sort of met somebody and just known immediately that they are meant to be in your life for whatever reason? You know, perhaps talking to them felt like you were reconnecting with an old, sometimes long lost friend, or, you know, even if you've just met this person, they just feel like you've known them for a significant period of time. Perhaps you can't picture a future without this certain person in your life. Now, not to get all woo-woo too soon on in this particular video, but it may well be that these feelings are not just part of your imagination, because you might have met your soulmate or indeed your twin flame. And that is basically someone who is essentially intertwined with your soul in some way. Now, if you're in a relationship now, or even a friendship, and you didn't feel that sort of cosmic connection, that spark when you first met your partner, then don't worry. It doesn't mean that they're not the right person for you. So let's start, first of all, by understanding or trying to understand what a soulmate actually is. To break it down as simply as I possibly can, a soulmate is a description for two souls that are destined to be together. But don't get this twisted, because your soulmate can very easily be a platonic relationship in your life. Your soulmate is somebody that you meet with and you click with and you automatically feel that connection with them. It could be your work wife, it could be your best friend, it could be a sibling. It's basically any person that feels so connected to you And the relationship between you runs so smoothly because the bonds that you share and the feelings you have for each other are deeply, deeply compatible. And that can be a romantic, in a romantic capacity, but it doesn't have to be. Now, a soulmate connection will really pale into comparison to any other relationships that you may have had in the past. And that's because they often feel incredibly easy when your two souls work together, because you're always going to find a way to compromise and to make your relationship work, regardless of the challenges and situations that you may face. It is with a soulmate that you will finally start to ask really deep and meaningful questions about yourself and about love, and you will begin to really feel ready to face answers that perhaps you've been avoiding in the past or in previous relationships, again, whether that be platonic or romantic. Now, to dispel a myth, you could have multiple soulmates out there in the universe. As I said, it can be your best friend, your sibling, a partner, a workmate. These can all be soulmate connections, and you can have more than one at any given time. So it's not just that one person, that you've got to go searching for. It's not the needle in the haystack kind of situation that a lot of people fear. And the reason you know when you've met your soulmate is because, as I said, you feel easy. It allows you to be the best version of yourself. Some people describe it as almost being too good to be true, especially if your relationships in the past have felt almost like a full-time job or something extra that you have to put on your to-do list, and you have to work really, really hard to understand that other person. You might feel with your soulmate like you've known them your entire life, even if you've only just met. And you might be more vulnerable. You might allow yourself to be more vulnerable and more open than perhaps you would be in other situations. Now, a twin flame, on the other hand, is the kind of relationship where it is essentially the same soul, so one soul that has literally been cut into two, and they are basically a mirror image of each other. So this particular type of relationship is where one soul is sharing an intense connection because they are mirrors of each other's. And that can be uncomfortable because it can mirror your weaknesses as well as your strengths. It often brings out emotional damages or insecurities. So if you have, repeatedly had negative relationships and you're attracting somebody that actually sort of brings you down rather than making you stronger, it could well be that these are twin flame relationships that you're having, and you're literally sort of mirroring the negative sides of each other. The benefits or the plus sides of a twin flame is that you can learn a lot about each other, but more importantly, you can learn so much about yourself. These relationships can be fundamentally transforming, and there are some experts out there that believe that you can't actually meet your soulmate until you have learnt the necessary lessons from a twin flame connection. So if you are somebody that finds that you are consistently attracting the same kind of people that belittle you, don't respect you, hurt your feelings, maybe they lie to you, they're dishonest or what have you, then actually, although it can be uncomfortable, you need to do that little bit of soul searching and see what it is within yourself that needs addressing, so that you can then start to attract the right kind of relationships into your life as you move forward. Now, some people, think, well, what if you're dating and you're actually in love with your twin flame? Well, that's fine. Don't panic about that, because as I said, your twin flame will teach you so much about yourself. And if you're aligned, you really can bring out the best in each other. And, by having open communication, if you've both got a weakness, then you can work on building these things together. Twin flame relationships possibly almost certainly aren't as easy. They're certainly not as easy as a soulmate connection, but you can still end up incredibly happy with a twin flame really for the rest of your life. So don't worry about that at all. It just means that perhaps you've got to work that little bit harder just to keep everything going as it should. So what I want to do now is understand how we know when we've met our twin flame. Okay. How can do you ever meet somebody and think, yeah, how can we possibly be so alike? We've got so much in common. Well, as I've said, a twin flame is essentially a mirror version of you, of your soul. You're often taken by surprise by how similar you are to this person and how natural a conversation feels, how no subjects are taboo, nothing's off limit, everything just feels really comfortable. But if you haven't met your twin flame yet, then don't feel like you need to go plan a road trip, or you need to go out there and put yourself on dating sites or whatever it is in order to search for them. Because the reality is that not everyone will have a twin flame, and that is absolutely okay. And the benefit of that is it actually makes finding your ultimate soulmate so much easier, because you haven't got the sometimes difficult, challenging, and occasionally uncomfortable lessons to go through initially. So we've looked at some of the key differences between a soulmate and a twin flame. And while they share similarities in terms of the two different sides of a relationship, you'll feel like you were destined to meet this particular person, whether twin flame or soulmate, because both of these relationships bring so much to you personally in terms of healing, in terms of growth and development. But they also bring you incredibly different forms of connections. And this really, I suppose, is the main identifier between for you to determine which kind of relationship you're having. So are you a twin flame that is two halves of the same soul, or are you soulmates, which are two souls that are intertwined and belong together? Now, you're probably understanding from this that twin flames aren't always going to be your perfect match in terms of a romantic relationship or even friendships in some cases, whereas soulmate connections meet and it becomes almost immediately difficult to ever imagine them being apart again. And I'm sure we all have sort of friends, or, we look at people and think that's a relationship goal, because they just seem like they are so, so intertwined. A twin flame relationship is really meant to challenge us in order to get you closer to the best possible version of yourself, because it's highlighting weaknesses and areas in yourself that you need to work on and strengthen. Now, if you're someone that's looking for a long-lasting, really sort of deep and committed romantic love, you'll find it with your soulmate. And unlike twin flames, soulmates are literally a reflection of all of your best qualities, all the things that really make you the incredible person that you are. As I've said, you can end up in a romantic situation with your twin flame or your soulmate connection. But the reality is soulmate relationships generally, not always, but generally are more long-standing. They are generally more rewarding and a lot more robust. So in this vein, the same person cannot be your soulmate and your twin flame at the same time. And as I said at the beginning, it is also possible to meet many different soulmates in your lifetime, but you will only ever have one twin flame. It could be that this person comes back to you at different stages in your life, maybe as a work colleague, then a friend, then a lover, or whatever. But that one twin flame could come back to you multiple times. Now, in terms of defining the best type of relationship for you, one isn't necessarily better than the other, because both of them can lead you to growth and development and bring you long-term success. But it really does depend on what you are looking for at this particular moment in time, whether you're wanting that really deep, sort of passionate, rewarding kind of love that just kind of fits like a glove, or if you want to grow and develop yourself. Twin flame relationships can be really intense. They can be deeply passionate, but also quite chaotic. But going through this teaches us so much about ourselves. It could be that you had a real whirlwind romance in your early 20s that taught you so much about love and passion, and probably also broke your heart into a million pieces, or maybe that's just me. But now perhaps you're in your 30s or a different stage of your life, and you're really feeling ready to meet your soulmate. You want to sort of settle down. Perhaps you're thinking about maybe starting a family, or perhaps you've just ended a long-term relationship and are looking for some kind of intense love that's going to help you heal and really rebuild your faith in relationships in general. Now, platonically, a twin flame could be the best toxic friend that you could ever have, but that friend that really sort of turns everything between you into some kind of competition. It could be a sibling who, you know, always wants to be better than you, or, you know, you're competing for the same thing. And that is often what we see when people are really going through twin flame relationships. It is very much about a battle of wills, about strength and what have you. Now, if you are looking for someone who is if you are someone who is looking, I should say, for the ideal relationship, then don't put too much pressure on yourself, whether you're looking for a soulmate or a twin flame. They will come into your life naturally, as frustrating as that may be. The main point here is to understand that for both these types of relationships, whether you're seeking out romantic relationships or friendships or whatever, you need to allow yourself to vibrate at a level that encourages the right kind of connection with somebody who is matching your vibration. So if you're looking for love and romance and generosity, you need to put that out there. We say repeatedly, you know, what you give out, you get back. You are a magnet, whether that be for your twin flame or your soulmate connections. But the reality is, regardless of what you're looking for, you have to have done some self-love work on yourself to get you to the right place to begin with. So trust that your light is going to act as a beacon to bring whatever experiences your soul is calling for, whether that be a soulmate or a twin flame, into your life. Whatever you invest into yourself and the areas that you work on are going to be the things that you sort of magnetically put out there into the universe, and she will absolutely deliver that back to you at exactly the right moment in time.